Hello, hi, and namaste. Welcome to this episode 3 of our show World of Wellness. So, as we know that we connect here basically to understand the current trends, what exactly is going out in the corporate world, what are the opportunities for, let's say, online or maybe for webinars, or are really the is really wellness going to come back to its original way, or we still need to continue with the online business. So let's discuss, let's have the to understand what exactly we are going to see in the coming months. So for today we have a panel of psychologists with me. The need for, we were discussing in last two episodes that things have changed. Mental wellness or mental health is being given more of importance, maybe due to, there were few superstars who committed suicide due to depression, or this was a thing which was really going on since a very long time, but we needed a lockdown, or we needed this COVID period to understand what is exactly depression, how it is affecting people, why it is seen in the companies, or are companies really taking interest to take care of the employees mental health. So we have the panel of clinical psychologists with me, who will be here to discuss their views, their opinions, uh, their experiences when they work with corporates. What is the exact need? Why and where is the exact need? And what are the solutions? So, a very warm welcome to our panelists, all three guests of us today. Hi, Sonali. Welcome to the show. Hi, Varsha.
Hello. Hi. Hello.
Hi, Tasneem. A warm
Hi,
welcome to all three of you.
thank you so much.
I'll introduce all three of you.
Thank
All
you.
Sonali, Varsha, and Tasneem are clinical psychologists, and they are with us since a very long time. They work with Just for Hearts for many projects. Almost now 8 to 9 years they are with us. So a warm welcome, and it's really great to have you on the show for a nice discussion and a fruitful discussion. So, can you just tell us in brief, just a short intro of yours, like how you chose this field, why psychology, or what made you, so much of interest to this kind of field? A bit off track, but yes, most important, I would say. Yes, Sonali, okay, we can start with you.
Yeah. I'm Sonali Mangal, counseling psychologist for more than 5 to 6 years now, and I came into this profession with the urge of working with human behavior. So when I recognized this, my urge to do this, and I just restarted with myself and rebuilt my career into this stream, and that's how I'm here today and working with Just for Hearts.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, thank you. Nice to know about you. Varsha, can you please tell us how was your journey? Where you started? How you came to this side?
Yeah, I always wanted to study human behavior. I was very fond of science, and but I was not really good in maths. So I wanted to study a human behavior, and that's how I end up doing clinical psychology. And I have been practicing for past 8 years. I have worked with hospitals, with rehabilitation centers, and with Just for Hearts for almost 8 years now.
Yes, thank you, Varsha. Coming to you, Tasneem, I know you have completed your PhD in this subject. So a brief light on that, please. Tasneem, I guess you're on mute. Just let me unmute you. Yes, yes, go on.
Okay, you can hear me, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I got interested in this subject basically due to my dad, my dad was an MA LLB. He had done law, but he had psychology as a subject, and he wanted to pursue that, but he went into a different stream. But he got introduced to the subject, and he told me, the moment you learn this, you will be understanding human behavior very well, and it's very, very much essential for you to lead your life, even if you're not pursuing it as a career. It is very good for you in your future, in your your relationships and all that is what my dad had told me. But as I started studying, I just fell in love with the subject, and I kept on and on and on. And people just wonder what is it like? You're still studying. You still like to continue. I'd like to upgrade my skills every time there is a new course, a new degree. I just like to take it up because I'm really interested in that subject. And now that I'm doing research also on mindfulness, because now my expertise is in mindfulness, so I would like to talk about that also in future. I mean, in this session also, I would like to talk about that. But yeah, these are the few things that actually gain my interest into the subject. And yes, I've also been practicing since the past 8 years, because soon after my MSc itself, I started practicing. Then I went into MPhil and then PhD. Yes, PhD is still going on. It's not complete, but luckily it'll be completed in completed shortly. So this is about my journey. And also I've started this company with Dr. Sham, but it was called Serenity that time. Now it's called CureFit. So that also has given me a lot of experience, and my mindfulness training sessions especially have been under Dr. Shambhat, who's been a pioneer of integral self therapy. So that has given
Right,
me a
right.
lot of happiness dealing with this subject and dealing with clients and all that.
Yes, indeed. As you said, it is I would say that it is much needed these days. And yes, people are now becoming open, or maybe, a bit broad-minded to understand, to go, to reach out to psychologists, and, discuss their problems like before. So yes, coming to you, Sonali, we'll start with the, you know, informal discussion. Of course, it's nothing formal, but just sharing of thoughts. So why you think such mental wellness or mental health is more of importance? Why it is needed? Why you? What is your
It's
opinion on
very
it?
much needed so that we can maintain a balance in our life. Like we all go through stress and anxiety at different situations for different reasons in our life. So everybody feels low and ups and highs in their life. So to strike that balance, this mental health, wellness, and awareness is really important. So, like here, we are mainly focusing on the corporate part, that why it is majorly important in corporate section. So, in corporates, it is required to enhance the productivity of the people, to enhance their skills, to keep them motivated, to keep them, away from accidents and errors. Because the more we are relaxed and more we are stress free, the more we are able to focus on our work. Yeah, this
Yes,
also helps in maintaining the harmony in our work environment, and it reduces the health cost for the company, as well as it gives a lot of mental and physical health to its human resource as well, which is the most
right.
important asset to any company. So
Yes,
yes, these are the various things for which we need to focus on mental health of our employees and the company. And apart from this, yes, it is very important in our daily routine life as well. So it is required for children also. It is required for elderly population, for people who are staying at home. Like during this time, everybody is feeling that they are blocked inside their home. People are feeling now it's done with too much virtual mode, but still we have to cope up with the things. So that is a place where the mental health wellness really is the need of the moment and need of the time.
yes, exactly. Very well said. That it is the need of the moment, or maybe people have, as you said, that people are now really fed up of being virtual. They really want to go out. They really want to meet their loved ones, meet their families, and friends, of course. Uh,
Right.
but yes, mental health in terms of like being into the corporate wellness. From I'm talking about myself, like in past 8 years, initially I remember uh, there were no there was no consideration at all about mental health. Whenever we had a mental health day, or some days related to that those days only the HRs, we used to get the requirement to just have a
Right.
session only and only on stress management. So whenever mental health was considered, we had only one topic to have a session on, or have a discussion on, that was stress management. But now, as we have during these 5 months, for instance, the lockdown has started, we have got innumerous session types of session. The topics are really different, and earlier it was that people used to come to us to ask the topic. Now the big change, and it is really nice to know that the HRs or not, the company is trying to do some efforts and get the topics, do different topics. And I remember coming, reaching up to all, including you people, with different topics. Okay, इस पे कुछ कर सकते हैं, इस पे कुछ, what you think, what are your ideas on that? So yes, Tasneem, I would like to ask you this. When it comes to companies, yes, this is needed. But apart from companies, or let's say, let's not discuss, let's not consider a company or a corporate, but who all should, remember that, mental health is important, and even I can need that. What do you think? Who all should know about that?
Yeah, true, Pooja. What you said is absolutely right. It's not just the companies who need it. It's not just the corporates who need it. Of course, in the corporates, it will benefit the company because productivity will improve, and because mental health is equally important as physiological health. But it is important for everybody, anybody and everybody. Because see, these days there is a stigma attached to mental health where people think that only mad people need to visit a psychologist, or only people with psychotic symptoms and stuff like that. Yes, of course, a psychologist does treat psychotic symptoms also. I mean, there are a lot of ailments that they do treat, but then, you know, coming to a psychologist gets you to a different level altogether. See, from wellness to better health, and from better health to excellence. So to reach out to excellence, to reach out to your fullest potential self also, counseling is very important. So it is important for the common man, for housewives, for children, for politicians, for celebrities. Because see, there are people who fear opening up in front of anybody. A lot of people feel that it is below their dignity to visit a counselor or a psychologist. It is their weakness, is what people think. So that's the reason we do a lot of things to remove that stigma. And these days, yes, of course, a lot of people are getting that awareness. People are realizing that going to a psychologist is not a weakness but a strength, because you're acknowledging something, you're accepting your weaknesses, which is not easy. It's not something that everybody
Easy.
can.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Totally.
So that's the reason
Totally.
I feel
Yes.
it would be needed for everyone, because all of us go through some anxiety, stress, depression, a lot of things in our daily lives. But rarely do we talk to someone about it. So sometimes at the mediocre level or at the least level, you just need to talk to someone. You just need a helping, a hearing ear also. So at that point, in the initial stage itself, it can be cured rather than it getting escalated to maybe chronic depression or generalized anxiety or any kind of phobias and stuff like that. So there are a lot more mental health problems. But other than having those problems also, I would say it is very much needed even for a common man who is going through little issue. Rather than struggling through it yourself, why not take help and get out of it in a better way? Because when you go to a psychologist, you come out stronger than before. But if you try to deal with it your way, you actually become weaker and it shatters you down. So it's always better to consult, take professional help for anybody and everybody, I would suggest.
Yes, very true. So basically, what you were saying, that but it's better to have a therapy than a medicine, is what
Yes, yes.
we can conclude from that. Yes, very well said. That even in companies, may it be a multinational company, a company having 4 to 5 thousand employees, or maybe a company with just 40 employees. Yes, mental health is all most important, because physical health anyways, you and me, we know that somewhere we are going to need a doctor, we will be going to the doctor because of the physical changes or the physical limitations when we are sick. But when it comes to mental, we don't want to show that. We generally pretend, yes, I am happy. But if it is taken by, initiative is taken by the companies for their employees, definitely, even if I show, I pretend that I am happy, when I'm talking to a counselor, definitely automatically I tend, I generally share things. This is not about I, but it's like generally people tend to share the feelings when someone experienced, or a professional is talking to you. Yes. Varsha, I would like to ask you, like, how do we know that, a self-diagnostic, are there any symptoms to be seen, like we have for COVID, like there is a bad throat or sense of smell and taste are gone. Some symptoms where we self-diagnose ourselves. Yes, I need a therapist or I need to talk to someone who is an expert.
Okay, so the best way is not go to Google Doctor. If you're feeling, I see, every person is going to experience different things if we are dealing with mental health
Right.
related issues. The symptoms are not going to be the same for every person. It depends on the situation, the upbringing, the conditioning, and everything else around that person. So if a person is constantly feeling unhappy, sad, irritable most of the time, and is nervous, overwhelmed, or too happy even if there is no reason to be happy, everything which is interfering with your normal daily life, or which is hampering your ability to concentrate, or to deal with situations, or with your sleep pattern, with your appetite, anything which is unusual, even a slight change in your daily routine, if it persists, you need to visit a psychologist or a mental health professional, because we don't know what is exactly going on. And what we do, usually people go to Google Doctor and see the symptoms and they try and treat themselves, but that is not the ideal thing to do, because it can lead to serious issues. And first thing, if you notice these changes around you also, I mean, if in your children, in your parents, the elderly people at home, please make sure you're addressing these issues in them also, because many times they fail to uh, put a words into their emotions, like they fail to recognize their emotions, or you also, many people fail to recognize their emotions, and that is the main reason they ignore it in the first place. So if there is anything unusual which is bothering you, which is persistent, you should go and visit an expert. As Tasneem rightly said, that it is actually a sign of strength, it's not your weakness. Coming out and saying that I am facing issue is the best thing you can do for yourself. So if you have thoughts which are harmful for your physical health, I mean the suicide ideation as we call it, if you have extreme thoughts, please go and see an expert. Don't ignore it, or don't talk to a person who will say that everything will be fine in few days. No, it will not go on its own. You have to seek a help. So if
Very, very well said.
you think anything unusual, please talk to an expert.
Yes. So we just saw all the problems and why there is a need to change, or why there is a need. People should accept that and come to the experts and discuss these things. So, Sonali, what do you think should be the solutions, or what things should be taken when it comes to a corporate thing in the company? What are the solutions according to you would work the best?
So, according to me, while doing this project, also when I was working with Just for Hearts project on stress management, I realized that relaxation and mindfulness things are working best with the people because they are so stressed and they are unable to sleep properly. The biggest fight which I found with the employees was that there was a huge disturbance in their sleeping pattern. Some are sleeping only for 5 hours, some are sleeping only for 6 hours, and some are, waking up during the midnight. And some people are complaining that we are not even getting that much span of time that we can, take a complete 6 to 7 hours or 7 to 8 hours sleep. So, my major suggestion to them was the relaxation and mindfulness techniques, which I majorly worked with people upon. And apart from that, yes, I worked upon like their time management thing. Because when we are too much stressful, in that case, also we are not able to sleep properly. So I just give them like small handy tips, like they can keep some, notepad or a pen on their bedside so that if something is bothering them too much that next day they need to take care of this and they're continuously thinking upon it, so they can just jot it down on the paper so that we can take out that thought from here to on the paper and we can sleep peacefully. And apart from that, people were continuously complaining in this project that they are doing a lot of overtime work. They are spending too much time at the on site and all. So for that,
Right,
yes,
right.
time management is the most important thing. Like I also suggested them that as they shared that they have a lunch break of 1 hour. So I suggested them to do that relaxation therapy during that 1 hour break time. So after taking their lunch, they can take a short nap at their workplace too. But yes, we need to draw that boundary around us that yes, this is my time, this 1 hour. I'm not going to take any call, I'm not going to meet anyone. This is my time. Because I understand that
Very
work
well
is
said.
priority, but yes, our own health is, I guess, the most priority thing. So these were my little solutions which I gave to people while working with them.
Yes. Uh, Thank you, Sonali. Sonali was referring to the we had just for hearts just in the last month we run a very big project on mental health. It was personal consultations and sessions which we took for the employees and these suggestions. So these three were the psychologists, and of course a few more were the psychologists. A huge project. That's the reason there was a huge team as well, and these experts, they did a very nice job doing the consultations, one-to-one consultations, and this was the solutions were given by them. Anything, Tasneem and Varsha, you guys want to add on that in this?
Yeah. Yeah, adding on to what Sonali mentioned, I did a lot of relaxation techniques and mindfulness for them. But what I also noticed was, while some of them were working hard and then they were getting exhausted, there were others who were actually not working because some of them were under lockdown. They were not supposed to, because their entire guest house was sealed down and they couldn't even visit home and they had nothing at all to do. So in such cases, what happened was they were going through a lot of anxiety, depression, and stuff like that. Of course, not chronic depression. When I say it's not the clinical depression and all that, but some symptoms of all these things were there because, or it could lead to those things also because they were already stressed out, not doing anything also. So for them, finding out a proper schedule as to how they can, bring themselves back to a schedule even while they are not working. Maybe they can do something productive instead. Maybe they can get on to their hobbies which they always wanted to do but are not able to do. So these were some of the things I told them. And some of them were sleeping too much also because they had nothing to do and they were not happy about it. Because when we say problems with sleep, it's not just about sleeping too less, it's also sleeping too much, which is also a problem. So with that also, I did have to give them training regarding how they can, use their time very
Manage themselves.
effectively
Yeah.
and feel good about it, because they wanted to feel happy that they've done something productively also, because some of them were not getting exhausted at all and they didn't have the motivation to do anything. So I suggested some exercising techniques also for them so that they can exercise while at home itself, because while we exercise, what happens is we have these the release of endorphins, these feel good hormones which actually make us feel good. So there were many such things which I suggested through which they did feel good, and then they realized, okay, even while I'm not doing anything also, I'm actually doing something productive. So along with those relaxation techniques, they needed this as well, and they needed to have a proper set schedule for their eating patterns as well, because their diet patterns also were disturbed because they were sleeping most of the time, they were not feeling hungry, and that again was causing a lot of haphazard in their daily schedule. So just bringing them back to their daily schedule even when they were in the lockdown, and when they were not able to, because going out in the sun is also very important. So different ways of how they could get that sunlight from their balcony or their guest house garden area and stuff like that is what we were discussing. And there were many of them who actually felt great talking to someone, because
Yes.
they were repeatedly talking to their friends on the phone or their relatives, but they were not able to meet them. And especially some of them felt it was a responsibility to be with their elders, their parents who were already old and they were in their hometown, and these people were stuck in the guest house. So they felt it was their responsibility to meet them, but they were not able to. So they wanted someone to talk to regarding all these things also. So that is one person actually started crying, and he felt
Oh,
extremely. Said this was a turning point for me, because I don't know what I would have done instead. So these are some of the things we need to encourage people, because such people actually wouldn't have consulted anybody on their own. But since the corporate
absolutely,
director,
absolutely.
Yeah, so it was compulsory for them. So it was not like it was not like someone would accuse them of, or accuse, or maybe the shaming issues and all that come along with therapy were curbed because the corporates themselves made it compulsory, mandatory for them. So that is one observation I would
Exactly.
make.
Right. Yeah. So, generally, I remember that initially when these 2 3 programs started, it was made compulsory by the corporates, and people were really not willing to go ahead to go for a consultation. Okay, they used to not give us the exact time, so बाद में करेंगे ऐसे करेंगे. But as the program started, and they might be interacting with their colleagues and everyone. Uh, they started to know how it is helping their colleagues, and then really we got emails that my appointment is pending, I have not done, please can I have a reappointment with this and that. So this was the magic, when you talk to a therapist, when you talk to a person who is who is really experienced in that field and gives you a lot of solution. This is what you will definitely get. So I guess the corporates should be uh, should and are definitely willing to do some activities based on that. Varsha, your inputs, your some experiences about the project which was done.
I think Sonali and Tasneem almost covered everything. My experience working with this corporate was that I particularly noticed one thing, that those employees who are working for more hours, even if they are not working, were praised more, and those who are actually working and finishing their work in a particular time and then trying to manage the other time for themselves. I mean, they are trying to get that time for their selves, were actually being accused of not working. So this is something which we all see around us. I mean, there is no work life balance. People, since we all are working from home, many people are working literally 24/7. So if a person is efficient and is finishing his or her work in a limited time, and then doing something which will benefit their mental health or their family members, is actually a good thing. And I don't think a working hour is more important. I think the quality of work is more important when it comes to working from home, or even in working in the companies. So the few things I suggested to the people is, the first thing is that they have to maintain a gratitude journal. We often tend to forget the things which are positive around us. So if you notice the positive things around you, you automatically have that motivation to come out of all the negativity. So if you note down just three good things, or the three grateful things, three things which you are grateful for, and three things which you accomplish every day. Every day, if you maintain this journal, you will come to know the positive sides and the things you need to improve in future also. Also, I see many people cribbing about a lot of things. I mean, I don't have this thing. I don't have time for myself. I don't have a family support right now. So all you need to do is ask for it. You have to draw that line, and that's what we all are trying to do. That we are trying to make people aware of the work life balance. I mean, you don't have to work 24/7. You have your own life, and you have your own priorities, and you just have to take that time out for yourself. I mean, taking 30 minutes every day for yourself is not a big deal. I mean, the busiest person on this earth can also take out 30 minutes from the 24 hours for the mental health, or for in general well-being. So I think that's the most important thing which I observed, that people were hesitant to say no to things. I mean, you have to be assertive and say no to things which are not fair. And it's I mean, we are not taught assertiveness since our childhood. I mean, we don't know how to say no. So that is the thing which we need to learn. And I mean, you, if you are feeling stressed or anxious, or if you are constantly struggling with your thoughts, again, as I mentioned earlier, you have to seek a professional help. And many times we forget to have enough water, which can also lead to many issues. We are not hydrated properly. We forget to smile. which is the best medicine. I mean, it reduces your anxiety and your it uplifts your mood immediately. So as we grow, we fail to smile more, and that is the most important thing. I think there are few things
Yes.
which you need to practice every day, like smile, have a proper meal, have a proper hydration. These are the things are equally important because your mental and physical health goes hand in hand. You just
Hand
cannot
in hand.
separate.
Very true. Very true.
So
Yes.
you have to follow few healthy habits to maintain your mental health as well.
Yes, very well said. And the perfect thing was that all three of you covered all the aspects. Uh, right from the smallest issue to what, like as Tasneem said, she faced a client who really wanted to talk to someone. So this is really nice. And yes, not to forget, we have many viewers right now presently watching the show. And yes, good evening, Amarji, Nitinji, Anamika ji, Dr. Kulkarni, Kundlik. Hello, everyone, and thank you. I hope this session is going to help you plan your, if it is in your company, definitely go ahead. Arrange many sessions on mental health. Sessions. Then there comes counseling. So yes, the need, as you said, why it was important, how we should do it, what are the solutions to that. Uh, then we move towards the last section of our show, is that what are the the programs which we could arrange. As I said initially, in this lockdown period, we have been getting the requirements on different n number of topics uh, into mental health, wellness, like maybe very basic is always all time favorite is the stress management sessions which are there, which we generally know that the basic thing is stress management. But apart from that, digital detox is there, mindful learning, mindfulness is what people want to know, meditation, music therapy. These are the things people are considering to take care of their this thing. And thus just for hearts is also open and definitely going ahead with all these things to manage and have the programs to run personal consultations, personal telephonic consultations, as we are going on this virtual thing. So telephonic consultation, personal video consultation are being taken care by us for many of the corporates. So yes, people should be aware of that as well. So one last question before we end the session: any best memory, any best event which you did with Just for Hearts, your your idea, your reference, or your memory which you can just share with us.
I would like to speak on one thing that happened. So basically, as you know, I've been with Just for Heart since 8 years. I've been doing corporate sessions with y'all. So there was one session where we had to do a session on Women's Day, on women particularly. So there, what happened? There was a woman. I spoke about postpartum depression. And there were many men who were telling, don't you think women are just trying to fake it? People will start thinking whenever they just want to relax, or they just don't want to talk to anybody, they might say they are going through postpartum depression, so they can make use of it as an excuse. Don't you think it's like that? Don't Do you think, because back then, earlier in earlier days, there was nothing called postpartum depression, so don't you think women are faking this? And then what I did is I showed them a video which shows what exactly happens in the brain when you're going through depression. It's not something that you fake. It is something that it's a mechanism that happens in your brain itself. The neurotransmitters itself are affected. So I tried to explain it to them. And then there was a woman who came up and said, I actually was going through postpartum depression, but I didn't want to say that to anybody, because the things that you said, because usually the things what happen once you have a baby is that every person expects the mother to love the baby unconditionally and to manage everything very well, right? Despite the ups and downs, despite not sleeping well, everybody thinks that the mother has to give that unconditional positive self-regard and stuff like that. While most mothers feel that way, there are few mothers who are going through postpartum depression, but they don't know how to explain it to anybody. And this woman could not explain it to anybody, but she was feeling very guilty that she was going through these things, where she was hating to talk to anybody at that moment. She didn't even like to go around the baby or take care of the baby, and she didn't know why she was going through all these things. Then when she realized there was a condition regarding that, and this is what happens, she felt great, and she started crying when she came to me. She said, I'm so thankful that I feel that someone can understand me now, and I can tell the world that, I went through this, but I got over it. She definitely got over it because she did take professional help and all that, but she didn't know how to explain it to people. But when I explained it through those videos and stuff like that, there were a lot of people who understood that along with her. She didn't have to go about telling everybody. So I feel these mental health awareness programs and corporate talks and all have actually been very, very beneficial. Maybe the benefits are more than what we actually know, because we never know after we leave what actually happens, how much impact we've had on the lives of so many others. So I think Just for Hearth is doing a wonderful job in doing all this. So I wish you all the best to continue doing this, because this is a wonderful journey that we all are taking up.
Thank you, Tasneem. And this is only possible because all you lovely people are with us, supporting us 24/7. Whenever we need any psychologist, we just give it a call. Sonali, we have this project and how to go. Varsha, tell us. Tasneem, tell us. So you guys are definitely, behind all these things. It's a group and a team activity, of course. Sonali, your any memory of working
Yes,
with us?
yes. So while doing these projects, I usually came across people who ask about that what is psychologist. So at that time, and they are so confused कि आप doctor हो, आप ये हो, आप वो हो, आप क्या करते हो? So they start asking about कि what is psychologist, आप क्या करने वाले हो? So when I explain them the difference between psychologists, types of psychologists, and then psychiatrist and psychologist. So this is something like spreading awareness as well, because there are many people, those who are even not aware that what is the role of psychologist and what
Very true.
psychologist can do for them. They even don't know that the psychologist is a person who can, instead of giving just solutions, you can vent out a lot in that therapeutic room or therapeutic session. So that part really touched me when, while doing this project, I came across at least 5 to 6 people who asked me the same question, and I felt like after that they didn't discuss much of issues. That I felt like I was satisfied with, after those sessions, that at least I taught them something new and I built up upon their awareness about this mental health
Absolutely,
wellness
absolutely,
thing.
yes.
So we came across such things also, and that really gives us a lot of satisfaction. At least we are spreading awareness, we are making people aware
Awareness,
that yes,
yes,
we
yes.
are there to help you out, so please come up and speak to us.
Yes, right. And I would like to add, you guys are not just spreading awareness, but you are doing a fantastic job where you make people, talk to you, tell you when it comes to diet, when it comes to, doctor thing, it is just what the body is feeling and not the what mind is feeling. So you are the doctors of the mind and you make people aware of that as well. Varsha, coming to you.
Yeah, the best session or the best memory for the sessions I take for you was a session 2 years back. It was on a Women's Day, and I reached the destination, and I noticed there were only one woman who were a HR head and myself. So all other participants were the male, and the session was on menopause and how it affects the mental health. And that time, for a moment, I was like taken back. I was like, "What I'm going to talk about now? I mean, do they even understand what goes inside the body when when a woman goes to a menopause?" But ultimately I gave the same session to them, and I make them understand that these are the changes your wives, your daughters, your mothers face, and that is the reason for their mental disturbances, their mood swings, and the kind of behavioral issues you notice in them. And after the 40, I mean, the usual session is for 1 hour, but that day the session went on for around 2 hours, and they had many questions like what are the hormonal changes they face, and how does it affect their moods, and are they actually feeling those things, are they actually feeling frustrated, and are they actually getting angry because of the hormones. So there were many things which many men doesn't know about menopause or
Very true,
period,
very
or
true. Yes.
in general the menstrual cycle. So it was the most satisfying session, I would say, because they had many questions, they asked many questions, and ultimately I think uh, there was some insight developed about the in general women's health and how the hormonal health affects their mood. And I think that was the most precious experience for me up till
Right,
now.
right,
Obviously,
right. I also
other,
remember we discussing about that.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
and I think all the women must have, really felt nice that who had come to the company who educated my husband or educated my the person who is coming back to me and asking all the questions which are good and which were, expected since a very long time. But a nice, nice memories. Each session teaches us lot of things. So yes, this was a general discussion on why exactly we need there's a need of an hour to focus on mental health, mental well-being in corporates, off corporates, apart from that. And yes, all the viewers, thank you so much for being with us for this session. If you want to suggest, if you want to, discuss with us, discuss with these lovely psychologists, these lovely ladies about psychology, about you want to discuss for some consultations, you can definitely write us to operations at justforarts.org and take your book your slot for your personal consultations. For companies, yes, we are open for mental wellness programs, which we are presently also running for many corporates. Uh, pan India level as well. So thank you so much. Thank you, all three of you, for taking out time from your busy schedule, from your consultations, and joining with me for this lovely session and interactive session. Thank you, Sonali. Thank you, Varsha. Thank you, Tasneem.
thank you, Pooja.
Thank
Thank
you
Thank
so
you.
you.
much. Thank you.